Greetings, y'all. One second. I was trying to go live. I thought I'd be going live from my computer, but it's not allowing me to do so. I guess because I have the like an updated version of Facebook. It's kind of like a beta version, I guess you say. So I apologize for the delay, but I am on. And if someone could please let Nadia know that I'm on, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. Hey, Nadia. Okay, so greetings, y'all. It's Fancy. And I am the award-winning editor and editor-in-chief and publisher of SwagHer Magazine, which is an empowerment and lifestyle publication for the progressive Black community. So I've had the magazine for almost 10 years come July. And basically, like as I said, we are a lifestyle publication. So we cover some of everything from business to news to interviews, events, lifestyle articles, empowering things, inspirational content. Like we have a variety of different types of content. And so, but that's only like one part of us, I guess you say, one part of our function, because whereas we produce content, then we also offer advertisement along the side, as well as we offer PR and branding services too. So like depending on which package it is that you choose, or whatever your goal may be, then we kind of go from either or. But basically today, I wanted to share like some tips for you all. Basically the essential marketing tools needed before purchasing advertisement. Because one thing I've noticed over the years is people will pay for ads, but they don't have all of their materials together. So they might pay for an ad and then it's 2 weeks before their graphic designer gets back to us, or they're sending us something that is not, I guess you say up to par. And the thing that I think, hey, Miss Barbara, I think the thing that oftentimes people don't realize is when you send us these ads that aren't in the correct format or aren't sized properly, then it makes us look bad. It kind of make it seems like we don't have any standards about ourselves or about our image or overall look or appeal. And even especially like when we're placing those ads in our print publication, like it can get really tricky, particularly if you made an ad that like you did on your phone, which is something that I know a lot of people tend to do. But if you didn't do it like in Canva or like Photoshop or something that's really, I guess you say, set for advertisement, set for graphics, whereas those graphics will be sized properly, or the DPI, which is like the issue resolution, like if all of that isn't correct, then you can end up right. We need quality. We need quality graphics, basically. So I first wanted to go over like what is marketing for those of you who may, I know we oftentimes hear the term, but in this day and age, it seems like marketing and branding kind of gets used interchangeably, whereas marketing, especially advertisement, is paid, whereas branding is, of course, like all the materials that you're getting together to make certain that your brand has a consistent look and feel. That's like it's not just your logo, but even your messaging, like you want that to be consistent. So it all kind of works together. But today I just wanted to focus on the marketing part, because I still kind of touch back on some of those branding things that I think are important for people to realize before they purchase an advertisement. So I'm also going to share a little, I don't know, tool or aid in the group as well. So I have a PDF that I'll upload later that you all can look at and be able to get some, basically be able to still see the tips and be able to, have them in your possession. So the first thing is, what is marketing? Marketing is the action or business of promoting, selling products or services. And then there's different types of marketing. So there's advertisement, which is basically advertising such as a product or brand placement within more common channels, which is, like TV, print publications, radio, the things that we basically had for years. And then there's digital marketing, which is advertising through channels such as like social media, mobile applications, email, web applications, search engines, websites, or any new digital channels. So just I know right now TikTok is really in the news. That is even a digital marketing channel, because of course people are promoting their services and products on there as well. So then there's content marketing, which is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating, distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. So we're really big in the content marketing age. For those who may not be so familiar with content marketing, it may be like those skits that you watch and then they're telling you to, purchase this, or they're talking about the hair or whatever. But that's kind of more so aligned with the content marketing. Also, just if you're a brand, like say you're a skincare brand, you might send out newsletters to your clients or people who've purchased previous products, and then with that newsletter, instead of just focusing so much on what it is that you have to offer, you also like add value to that. You're telling them how to use the products, or giving them some tips or something along the lines of that. But it's content, but it's still supposed to drive that individual or whoever the viewers are back to your product or service. But again, it's something else that kind of goes along with it. It's not just saying, hey, buy this from me, but hey, I'm gonna also share some tips with you about how you can use this and why this makes your life so special, or here's what this person is saying about your product. Like those are ways that you can use content marketing. And then there's cause marketing, which is oftentimes like when you see these bigger brands pair up with like a social cause or organization, like how every October, we wear pink, and then a lot of times a lot of different businesses might sponsor a walk or a run or something in particular. But that is cause marketing, because they're doing that, they're supporting that cause. Obviously it aligns with their business in some type of way or their business values, and they've decided to come together. And basically, like when you do the cause marketing, it's supposed to help grow both brands, not just the person that paid for the to be a part of the event, but also to help them raise more awareness, and then they're getting those funds. So it's supposed to be like a win-win situation. But the benefits of marketing, which is my second point here, the benefits of marketing is to help drive sales, increase exposure and reach, helps to build relationships between the business and customers, and provides insight to the business about the customer and vice versa. Meaning that, depending on, as most of us now are trying to do more with our analytics. So we're trying to figure out where our customers coming from, what all did they click on when they were on the site. We basically are trying to get to know our customers as much as possible. But at the same time, when we're looking at things, when we're marketing, we're also still sharing more information and insight about us as brands or businesses. So it's kind of like, transferable information, I guess you would say. It's almost like we're both learning about each other, basically. And of course that helps, because the whole part of being in business, and in particular with marketing, is solving a problem. So, you want to know who your customer is and what they like, what they don't like, how much they make. You want to know as much about them as possible so that you can better tailor your service or product to them. Then there is also marketing helps one to stay relevant. If you look even now, like someone mentioned the other day, like in the midst of all of this, they were saying that they hadn't been seeing any Walmart commercials, but now Walmart is now back doing commercials, because even though we all know that Walmart is there, we still might need a gentle reminder that, hey, let's go to Walmart as opposed to going to a CVS or someplace that might actually be, about the same type of product, but maybe if you go into an Albertsons, you can get in a little bit faster, in and out a little bit faster, whereas the products themselves might actually be a little bit more expensive. But again, that's where Walmart is trying to remind you, like, hey, we're here. So marketing helps you to stay relevant in business. And of course, it works best when you have the proper branding behind you. So before I even go into the branding, I also just want to know that marketing is an investment. Especially when it's planned out correctly and strategically, it's worth it. A good marketing strategy should yield a 5-to-1 ratio. So I say that to say, like, when you take into consideration how much you paid for the marketing, you want to make certain that for what you paid, like, that you're seeing some type of return on that. So with a 5-to-1 ratio, that's to say every dollar that you spent, with the advertisement, you want to make certain that you're at least getting $5 back on whatever the sale of your product or service may be, especially if it's like you have a product that takes, if you have a product that actually costs more to make, then you'd actually want to see a return bigger than that. But if you have something that's like, a product or a service that's $100 or less, then like the $5 is kind of good right there. But the 5-to-1 ratio is basically like where you would want to be when you're, deciding that, or if you're really trying to see how effective a marketing campaign was for you at the end. And of course, you can't just really see that initially from the beginning, but once the campaign itself is complete and you're looking over all your stats and everything, then you should be able to tell that. So, I wanted to share some questions that you all should ask before placing advertisement or paying for advertisement, because again, like, I'm just kind of going off of the things that I've learned over the years, and of course questions that people have asked me, but also we've advertised ourselves with other companies, so we ask these questions too. So of course you want to know, where will the ad be placed? As crazy as it sounds, I have actually had people buy advertisement and they didn't know if the ad was going to go on the website or if it was going to go in print. They just bought it because they felt like they needed it. They thought it would help their business, but they didn't really research it. We probably told them, I'm pretty certain, like, hey, because of course our prices depend on where the placement is going. So I'm certain that we mentioned it, but they may have never even paid attention to it. So it could be like a whole month later and they'll be like, hey, where my ad was at, or where was my ad supposed to be going? So you always want to know, is the ad going to be, on their website? Is it going to be on their social media accounts? Is it going to be in print? And then if that's going to be the case, then what's the turnaround time for that? How soon can we expect for that ad to run? You also want to know, what size and format should the ad be in? And this is like a really big thing. So either you want the ad to be in a PDF file format, because that way none of the content moves. It's going to be locked into place, and a lot of graphic designers actually prefer that it be that way. If it's not going to be in PDF format, then it needs to be in JPEG or PNG format. And I say that because a lot of times people might send in I don't think it's a DSCID file, and then there's something else crazy that I saw too, but you want to make certain that, for one, I always suggest the JPEG image because it can be altered. But even, especially with a good graphic designer, if you send a PDF, they can also unlock that PDF and be able to go in and edit what needs to be changed. So you want to know what format it should be in, but you also want to know the different ad sizes. And I'm not going to go through all the different ad sizes that I have, but on the handout that I have for you all, you can actually look at the sizes there, because of course, depending on what size the space is going to be, like on our website, those are called like the badges, basically. I think it's called the button, like a square button. So those are 300 by 300. Automatically, I already know that, so I'll try to tell people that, because again, you really want your, as important as you want there to be substance and quality to your product, you also want to have that overall clean, polished feel. So you don't want someone to have your ad up and then it's like letters cut off at the end, or I saw all type of craziness. We can always tell who made something on their phones just by the little grids and things like that you can see in there. And that just always drives me crazy whenever I see it. So You also want to know, what is the outlet's reach? How many site views do they do monthly? Do they have subscribers? How many subscribers do they have? And do they have an email list? You need to know as much about them, because again, you want to make sure that you're a good fit for them. If your brand, if you're trying to reach senior citizens, it's like, in their 70s or something, then you may not want to go with the hottest, coolest, trendiest outlet out there, or whatever the medium may be, because that may not necessarily be where your target market is at. Their kids might be there, or their grandkids might be there, but they're not going to be there. So you want to make sure that it's a good fit. So again, you're going to ask them about their demographics as well. You'd also, of course, you want to know how much it's going to cost. You like to know how long it's going to run, whether it's going to run like if you're going to get a social media ad. Are they going to do a social media post for you once a week? Are they going to do the post, just one time and that's it? Because, that is a thing now. We actually just started offering that service. I know a lot of outlets been offering that service. But my point is, also, like with a lot of outlets, they may make the post, but then they'll actually delete the post within 24 hours. So when we do our posts, we just keep them up, but we actually do most of our advertisements in our stories, which I think a lot of people may not realize. But the reason why we do them in the stories is because excuse me, the viewers can actually click on, like they can swipe up and be able to go to the advertiser's website or wherever it is that we're trying to direct them to. And then I think it's a good question to ask the outlet or the agency, how do you advertise? Like, where else are you all placed so that I can be certain that my product is going to be seen? For us, we do a lot of bartering, but we've also spent thousands of dollars in Facebook ads. Like, really, our Facebook ads are possibly one of the best things ever. Like, I would really love for us to get a billboard, but until then, the Facebook ads do really well. And you can start off at like $5. On average, we spend about $200 to $300, and that's because, of course, we're not only promoting, hey, we're having a sale, or hey, buy this advertisement, but we're also trying to send more viewers to our website. So we do tend to spend a little bit more in ads, but you don't have to spend that. But you might just want to set up a budget of $50 a month. And the thing is, especially if once you start like playing around with the ad widgets and everything, and you start better targeting your market, like better defining it with all of the tools and so on the back end of Facebook, then you can also help to decrease your ad costs, because you start realizing like, hey, I've been advertising to this group right here, but it costs more for their clicks, but they're not even clicking, they're not even really interested in whatever it is that I'm selling. So it's a trial and error experience, but I really encourage everyone to do that. And even with our own advertisers now, like we've began to since we already have a good reach with our Facebook page, and then our Instagram page is really good. So although most of our posts originally originate on our Instagram page, we'll swap over to our Facebook page because they're transferred there, and then I'll go into the Facebook, and actually that's where I will boost the post, and so that's how we get more reach. And it really makes a world of difference. You all will really be surprised. And if you have a like analytics on the back end of your site, whereas you can see where your traffic is coming from, over half of our traffic will come from Facebook when we have those ads running. So it's good to have. And also I see it working for our clients as well too. So what we've kind of been doing is just basically putting their ad up, and then paying so much for so many days or weeks, and then that allows us to not have to keep trying to run it so consistently, because it's there and we definitely know that it's being seen, and we can show those numbers to our advertisers as well. So let me see. So those are all the questions to ask. If you all have any other questions though, like questions that you've asked someone before in the past, or just questions that you'd like to ask me right now, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I can kind of be bad about that because I'll just get some rambling, but also you all might have some questions that are, know of something that I'm not aware of. So I would gladly welcome that information. So then now once you've asked those questions and you basically like what most people will do is first reach out, get the ad information, and then kind of like work towards that to see what all they're gonna need. But it would always be good if they already had some of that together, so they don't that delay time isn't as long. So the materials that you need are, of course, your ad image. If it's going to be, if it's going to be something that's physical, like I was trying to think of an instance where you really need a two-sided image other than business cards. But I think that oftentimes what people don't realize is like when we say business cards in the magazine or in a travel book or whatever the case may be, like it's only going to be that one-sided image, like the front of the image. So you want to make certain that you have all of your information like on that one side. And the information that you need to make certain that you have, because as crazy as it would sound, I have saw people send in some crazy stuff. But you want to make certain that you have like your business name, your contact name, which is optional, but if you want it there, of course you should have it there. Your web address, your business email address, like how are they going to get in contact with you? Your business phone number, if you have one, that's optional. Again, we do a lot of stuff in email nowadays, but if you actually have a business line, make certain that it's there. Why else are you paying for it? Then there is a PO box. If you have one, you can list that. And then if you have a tagline, I always suggest that if you don't have a tagline, just a few other words, that kind of describe what your business is, because we know how crazy and creative we've been getting with these names now. So people need to know, what it is that you're offering or whatever your product may be. So that they have some type of idea, especially if, they're going to see it, but they're not necessarily meeting you. So they may want to go back and refer to that and like, oh, hey, yeah, so-and-so do offer this service. And there you have it there. And then if you have social media accounts, include those, but make certain that the accounts that you do include are like the active accounts. Like we don't too much use our Twitter, so I'm not just too much trying to list that in places, especially when now we have to list like you got your website, your Facebook, your Instagram. If you got a TikTok, you better have that there. If you have a link tree, then you're going to be putting that there. So you don't want it to be all crammed together. So, just pick the ones that you're actually active using. If you got 5 Instagram accounts, I don't know why you would, but if you do, which one does this ad really pertain to? Because we don't need, all the extra stuff. It could get to be confusing, or especially if you're not keeping those accounts active and that's the first place someone goes to look for you, then oh look, Nadia, I just saw your comment. I didn't know that was you, but yeah. But if they go there to look for you, and there's like stuff from 2016, that's gonna instantly discourage them. And who's to say that they're gonna take the extra time to then go to your website or then go to your Facebook page or whatever the other case may be? So send them somewhere that you're actually maintaining and keeping up to par. And then another thing about the images, make certain that they're at least 300 DPI for the quality of the image, especially like with printing. Anything I think that's going to be printed needs to be 300 DPI at least, so that it shows up properly. And last thing about the images, you never really know, like depending on the outlet, they may actually do the ads themselves. And one reason why I showed y'all this particular travel book is because we actually upgraded our travel book. Like before, we were just using the ads that they sent us, and you see how the sizes are off, and then in this one we have a much more cleaner feel. So I was kind of excited. I was like, we've been sitting on this and I've been complaining about these ads for some time now. I'm like, let me just go ahead on and find somebody that's gonna. And actually, when I was telling him what I wanted done, I did not know that he was gonna actually take the time to redo every advertiser's ad, but it came out for such a nicer, smoother feel, and everybody really liked these books. So I think that that's definitely the way to go. Actually, now, like I would much prefer that we continue to make their ads, especially for these, as opposed to them trying to send them in, because those ads, like I said, sometimes it might really look like, oh, they made it in Photoshop or Canva or something, but in actuality, they made it on their phone. And then once you're trying to put it on print, it comes out looking really crazy. So it can really make a world of difference. But yeah, okay, I feel like I've been talking. I appreciate those of you who have stayed on, and I'm not good at like asking do y'all have questions ahead of time, but you know, again, if you all have any questions, please let me know, and I will be uploading this PDF to the group. I guess, you know, once Nadia gives me the permission or however she approves it, then it should be within the files. I think this normally like the files section here. So, but yeah, that's basically it. Like, I just think that my main reason why I wanted to do this is, again, because like I said, oftentimes I don't like how the ad images look for us. You know, it kind of brings down our overall aesthetics of things. But also I don't like that time delay, whereas, you know, people still need to get their stuff together, then we might be waiting, or we're already ready to, you know, to go to print and we're still waiting on them. And sometimes it can get really crazy right around that time. But also, just because I think that people be so, you know, you're happy to invest in yourself, as we all should be. Like, when we're doing that, you know, you feel like you're being responsible and you're about to take your business to the next level. But you want to make certain that you have everything that's really needed for this advertisement, you know, or this marketing campaign to be a success. Because, you know, if you have this really nice ad, but you don't even have a Facebook page or a website to direct that person to, you know, it looks crazy for us. People are like, oh, well, you know, I wanted to support them, but I can't even find them, you know, and or either. Another thing I was going to say, make certain that you keep your website active. That just kind of hit me, because a lot of people will have these web addresses on their ad images, and then it's not still active, or they've changed the, you know, their URL. So people are looking for them and they're unable to do so. Like, all of that stuff is really important. Or either, again, when people have their ads, like, you know, basically when they think business card ad, then they're like, oh, sure, I got a business card, I'm gonna just scan it and fax it over to you. That is the worst thing ever, because it never lines up. I would almost rather you send me a screenshot of it, but that's not really good either, because the designer can tell, you know, when those images are screenshots. So that's not a good thing either. The best thing would be like, actually me and Miss Barbara had went through this before. If you design your card in like what's the Vistaprint or something, or if the designer sent you over a file, you know, a digital file of the card, use that instead. But if you're going to be placing that image in print, you need to make certain that you have all of that vital information on the first, you know, on one side all together, as opposed to having, you know, you got your logo here on the front and then everything else on the back. Well, when we get ready to send it off, you know, we might just have all that other stuff there, all the other content, but there is no mention of your logo there because it was on the other side. So I just wanted to note these things for you all, because, you know, I know especially right now, a lot of people are skeptical about advertisement, as, you know, during these times, which is understandable. But now is really the time to be making certain that you're really competing, you know, that you're making certain that your business is being seen, because for one, they've already said that people are now online 50% more than what they had been before, because we're all at home. So why not make certain that with that extra increase of viewers right there, that you're taking full advantage, you know, that you're actually not only trying to promote yourself on your page, but that others are promoting you as well, because it's a good look. It can really make a world of difference. If people only knew how many people have told me, you know, oh, I saw them in SwagHer Magazine, and, you know, or I got this opportunity because somebody saw me in the magazine. It's always, you know, a good stepping stone. Like, we're not Essence, but we are, you know, we hold our own, and I'm very proud of that. You know, I've saw so many people grow or glow up over the years, so I know what we can do. And basically, yeah, that's kind of it. I just wanted to share all this with y'all. I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna go ahead on and close out. I thought that I did put my email address within the description, but if anybody else would like to contact me, you know, of course I am on Facebook, but it really is best to contact me via email, because I don't really check messages here, and I will be uploading that file. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope that you found this to be, you know, informative and valuable, and thank you, Nadia, for this opportunity. And I'm sorry I was like 2 minutes late because I couldn't get in. But so bye, y'all. Peace and blessings. And let's all have a great week and stay healthy.